Every act throws shadows farther than the hand can ever see. Still the road beneath my footsteps is the road I choose to take. At the broken door, the warning fails. A body drives across the frame. I brace the arm, I stop the force. The grave is not my chosen course. If life can stand when violence ends, then death is neither prize
Hello there,
nor
Crimson
proof.
Rain.
Restraint is not a weaker hand, it is the measure of its use. I cannot promise bloodless ground. Right reason marks the chosen bounds. What I may seek, refuse, permit, and what must never shape the means. I will not make a life the means. I will not call the weapon clean, because the sum comes out ahead. Foreseen is not the same as chosen, but foresight lays a claim on care. I choose the good I mean to serve, and answer for the risks I bear. I will not make a life the means. Measured drop enters the line. The room is white, the breathing thin. Turn down the pain, not life itself. Relief is where the act begins. The pulse may fail before the dawn. That shadow cannot be denied. But mercy does not need the death to make the mercy justified. A different hand could use the same clear vial, the same obedient vein, and make the silence be the cure. Same instruments, another aim. The chemistry may look unchanged. The moral grammar is not still. One bears a death beside the road. One makes the dying do the work. No private word can bleach the plan. The means reveal what slogans can't. If harm must do the work of good, then harm is written in the means.
Hello there, Veritarian.
I will not make a life the means. I will not call the weapon clean, because the sum comes out ahead. Foreseen is not the same as chosen, but foresight lays a claim on care. I choose the good I mean to serve, and answer for the risks I bear. I will not make a life the means. Bridge moves armor through the night. Below it, kitchen windows burn. The map says target, streets say home. Prudence is knowing both are true. Delay the strike, reduce the charge. Take the harder angle, lose the hour. If children have to be the lever, then the lever poisons power. No arithmetic can make them tools. No flag can sanctify that trade. Yet fear
Hello there,
every possible wound would leave the innocent unaided. So count the distance, chance and need. Seek every road that spares the weak. Proportion is not license granted. It is judgment under limits kept. Here is the paradox. I answer for effects I do not choose, yet choosing them would change the act. I cannot own the whole result. I cannot disown the path I take. Desire does not make the measure. Choice does not make the object good. Reason must govern what I seek and what I never make my tool. Character is carved before the verdict, where desire becomes design. Not only by what follows after, but by what I make a means of mine. No promised good can make it clean. To make their dying serve the end foreseen is not the same as chosen, but foresight lays a claim on care. I choose the good I mean to serve, take every prudent road to spare, and answer for the risks I bear. I cannot govern what follows, I can govern what I choose to send. Through cause and consequence and chance, the world may break beyond my reach. My will is still within my hands. Every act throws shadows farther, still I choose the road I use. I will not make a life the means. That is the road I will not use.
All right, in order. So to answer Bearitarian, the computer's doing fine so far. It's only after we get through like to the 3rd hour of streaming that it really becomes an issue, and I'm not going to be streaming for like 3 hours today, right? Like, I wasn't feeling the best earlier, right? I'm feeling much better, but I'm not going to push it today, right? So we're just going to talk to answer Philip's question now, right? We're going to talk about a couple things. We got a couple articles to read, right? LMAO, right? He's like, let's jump right into this, right? All right, so where do we start? Here we go. Let me double check something. Okay, one more time. Okay. So thank you to Runia and to Boreal Mytharch for bringing these to my attention, right? Because I didn't hear a damn thing about any of this. Hello, Mind of Ra, right? But yeah, apparently Suno is about to artificially downgrade much of their music, right? So let's look at this, right? So Suno's copyright fix, smart strategy or legal damage control. This is not a smart strategy. For a number of reasons. This is almost certainly legal damage control, even if, because here's the thing, even if the music industries have no actual case, hypothetically speaking, right? It doesn't matter if they don't have any case under an objective view of the law as it is written. All they need is one dumbass judge or one dumbass fucking, or, you know, malicious, right? Jury to not actually understand the case at hand, and we've seen a number of examples of this with human musicians, right? Where it's like, objectively speaking, they should not have ruled against the musician that was accused of copyright violations, but they did anyway, right? So, this is one of those things where it's like, yes, this is almost certainly legal damage control. They might not even actually be guilty of anything as the laws are written, but they still have to be concerned about this because there are many cases of, again, someone who should have been in the clear who were just basically decided not to be in the clear for any number of arbitrary reasons, right? So, Suno announced audio watermarking, fingerprinting, and updated community guidelines on August 6, 2026. As the AI music platform faces multiple copyright lawsuits, the tools aim to identify AI-generated tracks on streaming platforms but leave core training data questions unanswered. The training data questions are almost certainly already answered. You didn't fucking look. Anyway, so this was published on the 7th of August, 2026. At 4:45 a.m. and it was last updated on the same day. So basically, okay, so it was never updated. I don't understand why the updated is even on there. So, Suno, the AI music generation platform, valued at $5.4 billion, following its June 2026 Series D, published a formal set of operating principles on August 6 alongside an announcement that it would begin watermarking all songs created on its platform. The move comes as the company continues to face copyright lawsuits from major labels and artist bodies just days after being held liable for infringing German song copyrights in a landmark Munich regional court ruling brought by collecting society Gemma. Now, to be fair, this seems to be a German court, and German court is fucking ridiculous, right? To be fair, all online businesses should just treat foreign businesses the same way 4chan treats foreign businesses, right? It's like, oh yeah, so UK, you want to sue us? Here, yeah, we're just gonna send you a piece of. We're not even gonna send you a legal response. We're gonna send you a image of a hamster, AI generated, by the way, right? And if you do it again, we're just gonna send you a picture of a bigger hamster, right? So, but yeah. But as I've already said beforehand, if you look up lawsuits about music specifically, you'll find a number of examples where it's like, again, professional musicians will look at it and be like, I don't really understand how they lost this lawsuit. This makes no sense. This is not very clearly a different song. Like, but anyway, so yeah. Hello, Kionella. So Suno announcements, key takeaway. By the way, I'll talk about the watermark in a bit. So CEO Mike Schulman's blog post titled "How We're Building the Future of Music Responsibly" outlined 4 principles: that the great music is made by people, that technology opens new creative possibilities, that AI should enable originality rather than imitation, and that more people creating music should strengthen the broader ecosystem. So I have a problem with this, in that a significant portion of music as it exists today was built on imitating people beforehand. Granted, yes, they make new shit, but, you know, covers exist as a thing, right? Many of Elvis's songs, right? You know, Elvis was the fucking king of rock for a while, right? Many of his songs are covers of previously existing music, and he did nothing wrong by, again, covering previously existing music. You want to know the secret? The copying of previously existing music was actually key to the survival of various forms of music throughout the entirety of human history, right? You want to know why the why the various songs of Homer, such as the Iliad and the Odyssey, persisted? Well, it's because they were music. Right? It's the same thing with all the epic poems. Like Beowulf, you didn't sit there and read it. You sat there and you listened to it be sung to you, right? And, no one bitched about it. Like, hey, that's my poem. You can't steal my music. It's like, no, it was the repetition that was the point, right? The recreation. Okay, so what's going on? But also, in general, I'll talk about that later. So, so it's like the entire music industry as it exists now was built on a foundation of copying, editing, modifying, and again, reinterpreting that which came before it. So this is just fucking ridiculous. It should allow imitation as well. Let's see, because it turns out, again, breaking something apart and recombining elements of it is part of the artistic process. I almost said autistic process, right? So, Suno also announced 3 concrete changes: the rollout of audio watermarking and fingerprinting technology so that Suno-generated tracks can be identified when shared on other platforms. By the way, this will be cracked at some point, right? I would suggest, as many people have, just downloading all of the tracks that you have on Suno that you like, preferably as a WAV format, right? A WAV. That way it just has the higher quality. But this will be cracked. Someone will eventually start looking into these Suno tracks and will isolate the watermark and figure out a way to just make a program that will strip the watermark from the song. So we're not talking about a watermark in the image of the song, which is what a friend of mine, when I was telling him about this, was thinking. It was like, oh yeah, because like Suno also generates you like a picture, so it's gonna put a watermark in the picture. No, it's gonna put a watermark in the actual music itself, in the audio track, right? And they may try to do it to where it's inaudible to the human ear, but it's audible to the AI. And I'm like, okay, well, I still don't really care. You're artificially poisoning, like downgrading your product. So I don't really care if someone goes in, examines what you do, and then cracks your, program, and then all of a sudden all of your watermarks just get undone by, people who've actually been examining how your watermarks work, right? So, in fact, actually, crackers are unsung heroes in the digital space, as far as I am concerned. So, Updated community guidelines with tiered enforcement covering warnings, temporary suspensions, permanent bans, and referrals to authorities. A new download policy designed to prevent mass distribution of AI-generated songs on streaming services. What the fuck? Hold on. Updated community guidelines. Well, I shouldn't have read this with a headache. With tiered enforcement covering warnings, temporary suspensions, permanent bans, and referrals to authorities, and new download policies designed to prevent mass distribution of AI-generated songs on streaming services. Well, I mean, there are alternatives to Suno. So if Suno doesn't want you to share their stuff, you don't have to, right? Release the crackers, exactly, right? Hold on. Let's see. I've told others it's best to just move to local AI now. The centralized AI industry is moving towards mass enshittification. You are correct, yes. And I'm going to have to look in to see what the local gen... Also, because like if I want to do something that's heavily inspired by an existing song or an existing track, I could do that with local genning, right? You ever wonder how, again, the remixes that fucking Leaflet makes... with on her music channel, some of that I'm pretty sure that's made with a local gen, right? So let's see, same thing. Just don't let the music industry know who inspired you, because they'll sue you for that. Yeah, that is true, but also this is a good argument against copyright, right? Like, again, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a whole episode about copyright law, because all of this is predictable from just the idea of copyright. And it's copyright guarantees the enshittification of your cultural production. Also, looks like Watermelon Wars has finally died down. How about prompting an AI to remove the mark? That's probably going to be something that people are probably going to jailbreak it that way too, right? People are probably going to crack the watermark so that they'll have a program that can automatically remove the watermark when you feed the audio track through it. But also, there's probably going to be people who are going to figure out how to prompt it in such a way that the watermark isn't added in the first place. And like, power to these people. These people are the heroes, right? So let's see. The company also announced a partnership with lyrics provider Music Match to integrate Sentinel copyright detection system. So the copyright detection systems that are notoriously bad at detecting copyright. Okay. Again, local genning seems to be where you need to go now, right? Let's see. What remains vague? And here's the good part, right? Here's the part we definitely need to know. What the fuck is not being said? The announcement raises as many questions as it answers. Suno has not confirmed which watermarking technology it will use, and this is again to prevent people from cracking it. Whether it will adopt an existing system like Google's Synth ID or build its own, provided a specific rollout timeline beyond coming weeks. Schulman explicitly framed the tools as giving artists and platforms the options to disclose AI origin rather than mandating disclosure, describing Suno's role as providing transparency rather than enforcing them. Granted, right? I could just, again, find a cracked version or a cracked program that can remove the watermark. It's not your business, Suno, to tell people what I do with my music, right? So, go fuck yourself. I can, again, local gen this shit. Critics in the music industry have pointed out that none of these measures address the fundamental questions of whether Suno training datasets included copyright material without authorization. By the way, fuck your authorization. You do not have the authorization. You do not need authorization. I can go and listen to someone else's work, break down how they did what they did, and then do something else using what I've learned from those processes. And there's nothing immoral about it. There's nothing illegal about it. These music industries, the reason that they can pull this shit off is because they have so much money, they can actually just bankrupt you from an illegitimate procedure, right? Are they going to actually have to pay you, for example, if they take you to court and it turns out that they were wrong? What are the odds that they're going to actually have to pay you for the money that you've spent in court with them, right? This is one of the reasons why copyright law needs to be abolished, is because it doesn't actually help the small creator. The only person that actually gets helped is the large creator. If Disney were to steal one of my ideas, quote unquote, right? If Disney were to steal one of my ideas, fucking multi-billion-dollar company, what are the odds I'm going to actually win a fight against Disney, in court? It's going to cost me way more money. They can drag it out with lawyers, right? Until I end up becoming bankrupt and I never get to see the end of the process, because it turns out, again, they have so much money, they can just make the process obliterate me even if I'm in the right. So again, this is one of the reasons why copyright law in general needs to be abolished. Not only does copyright law completely destroy the music industry, it also, again, flies in the face of the history of music in the first place, and it's designed to inshitify the culture. So anyway, so I don't give a shit if any of this material was copyrighted. I challenge any of these companies, any of these people, to actually crack open any of these programs and find any individual piece of training data in there. That's not how these programs work. These programs do not work by storing, training data and then, basically cutting it apart and then recompiling it. No, it works very similar to how human beings work. Learn things. It takes different. It takes its multiple experiences. It takes its multiple. It takes its training data. It looks for patterns. It breaks it down into a series of weights that it can then, form a algorithmic knowledge base, right, of the thing in and of itself. So if you break any of these open, guess what? You're not going to find, if you break open the Suno, program, you're not going to find Disturbed in there. You're not going to find anything by Disturbed. You're not going to find anything by Tool. You're not going to find anything by Elvis Presley. You're not going to find a single song of Yuki Kajira or by Shiro Sagasu. You're not going to find a single thing of Ninette Tayeb in there, right? None of these artists, their work is not in these programs. Suno was taught off of programs, and you had no right to ask that they ask permission to do that in the first place, right? As an artist, you can go and you can look at anyone else's art, you can see what works, and then you can recreate the parts that work, recompile it into something new, and then it is a totally new thing, right? This is a affectation of copyright. The entire, again, the complete dissociation of how things have traditionally worked in the arts is not a technological problem. It is a problem by copyright asserting a right that does not exist. So anyway, so let's see what we got here. So the core allegation in the ongoing RIAA lawsuit. So again, what exactly is illegal about, again, training Suno on these copyrighted material? Because it's not making a copy of any of the copyrighted material, right? That's the whole point of it being of it not being overtrained or undertrained, right? Is that you won't get a copy or a copyright infringing product from this thing in the first place. And these people know this, right? These people absolutely know this. They're still going through with these lawsuits, not because the actual core claim is true. The reason they're going through with these lawsuits is because Suno is a potential competitor, right? Why would I listen to the shitty corporate-made music of, like, most of these, because I used to listen to the radio, and I was forced to listen to the radio in a previous job I did, right? But, like, why would I listen to this corporate, soulless music when I could instead go and, like, actually listen to something that someone put time and effort in, even if it was made by an AI, right? Unironically, I've been finding that the AI music is actually superior to a lot of the current music out there produced by human beings. So, I digress. Jewpool's attempting to start wave 2 of Watermelon Wars. That's great. Modern legal system is a joke. Wait, hold on. I gotta go up. Let's see. It's easy to avoid the inspired thing. You just ask one AI to describe a song, then use the description to make your song. Never use band singer's name. Counterpoint. You don't even need to do that. If you really wanted to use a band as an inspiration or a song as an inspiration, don't fucking use Suno. Use ChatGPT and Grok. Ask Grok, for example, I want you to do deep research into the structure, form, psychology, and what would be another one? Semiotics of the song Rush. Right? Not Rush, but by the song Free Will by Rush, right? Oh, and by the way, I want you to also then write a prompt that can apply these lessons to X, Y, or, insert prompt, insert idea here. Write me the Suno prompt Give it the character limits for the Suno prompt, for the style prompt and the lyric prompt, with instructions, by the way, with lyric instructions. This must fit these criteria. It must not mention any band. It must not mention any song. It must not mention any artist. It must not mention any genre. In fact, I would suggest even saying the genre thing, right? It must instead explain in precise detail how to elicit the effect that we are aiming for, given the description I have given you, right? And you don't even have to base it off of a song. If you want to do like a fusion, I found that like if you wanted to do a fusion of two different genres, that's more effective, it seems, than just asking it to fuse two different genres, right? Get the AI, for example, Grok or ChatGPT, to actually think about what it would require to take these two different genres, to fuse them together, and then compare it with the lyrics. And then once you have the lyrics that has already been generated, you can then tailor the style prompt, the style prompt itself, to match the lyrics, right? So this is all just, again, all of this could be avoided by just simply prompting, right? So, let's see. Where are we? Okay. There's actually been a case where a guy has been successfully sued because he stated that a song inspired one of his, yet you can check lyrics, musical notes, and etc. Neither songs have anything in common. Exactly. That's my point, though. Like, the copyright does not exist to actually protect the creator. It exists to protect corporate interests that only survive, by the way. These corporations only survive, by the way, because they actually have regulations that help them specifically, right? Smaller music companies couldn't possibly fight lawsuits like this, right? They could not possibly fight a lawsuit against a larger company, right? So they have to deal with regulations and threats of legal coercion that would not exist in a natural market, right? That are only there because, again, let's be fair, these corporations have interests that are also tied to the government, right? So it is an unnatural monopoly that should be completely that should be dissolved and scattered to the wind. And the way you would do that is you would dissolve copyright itself, right? It's the purpose of corporate slap. Well, corporate slap doesn't actually protect you in the music industry. I hate to tell you this, right? Modern legal system is a joke, so your point of not stating what inspired you out loud is probably a good idea. Exactly. Let's see. Which is why outside of one song, because the person is cool about people using their works as an inspiration, I'll never say if any song inspired any of my songs. My point seems to have gone over your head. I don't think it has. I'm making a different point than you are. Anyway, what's going on here? Oh yeah, we're right here. Meanwhile, Suno's source code was hacked in July, and the findings raise eyebrows. The code shows that Suno's AI was trained by scraping music and lyrics from platforms such as YouTube Music and Genius. Don't care. I legitimately do not care, and in fact, get scraped harder. Fucktards. Anyway, according to reports, Suno is also recently faced legal trouble from music groups, including Sony and Universal, for mass copyright infringement in 2024. How did they infringe your copyrights? How did they infringe copyrights? Give me one example of a actually copied song, of an actual copied work that Suno has produced or that you found in the Suno code. We're all waiting, and I don't think I've ever... Scrape harder, exactly, right? I don't think anyone has ever actually pulled this out. No one has ever actually given a concrete example of this, right? And as mentioned earlier, you can get sued for copyright infringement even when the thing you make has nothing in common, not fucking with the actual song that inspired it, right? So again, this is absolute fucking anarchical tyranny at this point, right? Anyway, is it enough? The honest answer is that transparency tools are necessary but insufficient response to copyright concerns the music industry has raised. Honestly, again, as I said, I want you to lose copyright and I want you to go fucking bankrupt. I want actual small creators to actually have, the free range that their ancestors had when the music industry was actually rising to prominence. So, watermarking and fingerprinting addresses the distribution problem. These will be cracked, and it will be good that they are cracked because crackers are heroes. Helping platforms identify and enforce against AI-generated content uploaded fraudulently. You didn't ask. First of all, you don't have a right to know how I do a thing, right? If I don't want to tell you how I'm doing something, you don't have a right to that knowledge. unless it's in some kind of terms and conditions, right? And you could just ask about the AI thing, right? But like if I make a song and then you're like, huh, did you write it yourself or did you make use AI? I don't have an obligation to answer your question. It's like, did you enjoy the song? Right? If you don't feel like you want to answer that question, that's fine, but I don't have an obligation to answer the question. So anyway, but they do not resolve the training data question. That's because the training data question is itself wrong, right? That sits at the heart of every major copyright case Suno currently faces. So, if you ever wanted to know another prime example of why copyright is actually the bane of the art world, this is exactly why. The Gemma ruling in Munich, which by the way is Germany, and I don't really give a shit about Germany, found not that Germany, given what it's, if things go on, it's not that Germany's going to exist very long, right? It's going to become it's not going to be Deutschland anymore. It's going to become Deutschistan, right? So it's like, not that I really care about this. Let's see, the Gemma ruling in Munich found the platform liable for outputs that infringe protected works. How? Right? Regardless of whether these outputs were labeled as AI generated, let's see if it actually provides any examples in here. For the music industry, the labeling of AI output is secondary to the question of whether the model that produced it was trained on copyrighted material without license. Okay, so here's the thing. The AI itself is not the problem. It's a secondary concern. The primary concern is that it was trained on copyrighted material. Why? Because, again, the AI is a competitor at this point. Right? Because I can actually make more songs in the same amount of time than a professionally trained musician could, because, again, of the way that prompting actually works. Now, they're not necessarily going to be good songs. You can make a ton of shitty songs with Suno, to be perfectly honest, right? But, like, some of the songs that I've made recently, which were intended to test whether or not the AI could concretize a particular metaphysic, a very specific metaphysic, were both pleasing to the ear. They actually completed their function, and I was able to get most of those out in like a day, right? Like from initial concept to actually getting the AI to argue 3 ways about the lyrics, right? For several hours, by the way, giving it tons of research to actually form the lyrics, getting it to devise the style prompt and the the lyric instructions, and then getting to testing out which one of the various gens you get out of it is going to be the one I'm actually going to go with, right? So it's like, yeah, this is the real reason why they're actually kind of terrified of the AI music thing, right? And they don't want it trained on the copyrighted material, because a lot of the copyrighted material is actually really fucking good. They do not want the AI to understand how it is to make genuinely masterful music, right? That's the reason why they care about the training data. They do not want actual competition. It's like in that Liquid Zulu video, right? When we actually got to see those artists talk about why they were so upset about the AI, and every single one of them was like, when Stable Diffusion was bad and created ridiculously bad outputs, it's like, oh yeah, it's just it's a little toy. It's not all that important. As soon as it gets even remotely to where it could be potentially a competitor, they're like, hold on a moment. It's not as good as I am yet. But this is progressing really fast, and I could see this being a potential threat here, right? It shouldn't be allowed to compete with me, right? That's exactly what's going on here. These people are doing the exact same fucking thing. Let's see. Suno's announcement is a meaningful step towards industry cooperation. I don't want to cooperate with your industry, to be perfectly honest. I don't want any cooperation with the music industry. Every song I've made has been something that the music industry would have never signed off on, and that's on purpose. The entire point was to make things that the industry would never have, collaborated with. Anyway. And a clear signal that the platform is feeling real legal and reputational pressure, but it's unlikely to be the last word in a dispute that's still working its way through the courts in multiple jurisdictions. So yeah, they're doing this primarily to, again, this is legal damage control. Damage control for illegitimate laws, by the way. But yeah, let's see. I got a couple other articles to go through, but let's catch up with chat for a moment. See, I use Grok to help me with ideas and Claude to help me write the best prompt for the situation before I use it in Suno. Okay, so I actually stopped using Claude. Not even because of the Anthropic thing for this, but I use ChatGPT Because if you specify, again, that it has to explain form, structure, emotion, and instrumentation, and it cannot use any genre descriptions, you can actually get some, and you can actually get it to tailor some really interesting music, right? It's like that Mother of Murder song, right? Yeah, that one was made not with like Gemini or Claude. That one was made solely with ChatGPT, as far as like the actual music prompting. I can make endless songs in person. That's a moot point. Endless bad songs, right? So, but yeah, if you understand what actually makes good music, and then you also understand basic prompting, guess what? Your ability to create good music has also exploded. That's why the music industry hates Suno, right? Because yeah, is it perfect? No. But to someone who actually understands how Suno actually works and is actually a talented musician, this is a devastating tool to compete with. So, all right. Apple Music got powerful AI features. Okay, let's see if this mentions anything that, because again, this was given as a citation that maybe it could show us an example of copyright infringement, but I don't think it will. But let's see. Apple Music gets powerful AI features. Finding the right song is about to get easier. I don't care about this part. Okay, so let's get to this. Bring artificial intelligence. Recommendations are also getting smarter. No, I haven't seen anything about copyright infringement in here. Nope, didn't see anything about copyright in here. Just in case. Huh. Interesting. It wasn't even in the article that we were linked to. Fucking interesting thing there, eh? So, let's see. I just like having songs I can enjoy that doesn't give money to people that hate me, even if they aren't top quality. I mean, that's an entirely fair point, right? But again, what are you gonna do, right? It cuts against the Gramscian project in order, if you can create your own cultural production, right? They have to seize the means of cultural production, and you as a pleb have to be forced to eat their communist gobbledygook. So, anyway. So Suno is adding audio watermarks, so AI-generated songs are more easily identifiable. Suno will also set new download limits to prevent mass distribution of songs and combat fraud. Define fraud. Define fraud. Because like if I'm open about using AI, which I am, by the way, then me uploading AI music is not fraud. Especially if I'm open about it. So, what do you mean? Right? It's like if I pay for someone to make a human-only generated song and then they use an AI to generate it, that would be fraud. But if I'm literally just generating music and then putting it on a platform, how is it me making it through AI fraud unless it's in the TOS, right? I just make songs for any random ideas I have and end up enjoying them. Well, you shouldn't be putting music out there that you don't actually like listening to yourself, right? You gotta have some standards. So, that is the way. The AI music generator Suno has announced that it will start watermarking songs created on its platform amid a number of legal battles and increasing pressure from the music industry. I actually hope the music industry collapses. I hope one day there will come a day where I will see that the copyrights of the music industry are destroyed, even if we can't get rid of copyright law, which caused this entire problem in the first place. But even if we can go back to the constitutional standard of 25 years, imagine how much money the music industry would lose. Imagine the panic that would set them in. First of all, it wouldn't happen because I have a sneaking suspicion the music industry would assassinate anyone who tried to do that. But I digress, right? There's a lot of suspicious deaths that go along with the music industry. So, Suno co-founder and CEO Mikey Schulman said in a blog post that the platform's new transparency tools will include some kind of labeling system that shows people if a song has been generated on Suno when it appears on another platform. They could have all just put this in the metadata, but I digress. Details are vague, but Schulman, again, they could have just watermarked the fucking metadata. Like, why did you have to put this in the song itself? Let's see. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Details are vague, but Schulman said his company will adopt new audio watermarking and fingerprinting technology that helps it resist AI fraud more effectively. I don't know what he means by AI fraud. They keep saying this, but they haven't explained what the fuck that means. Let's see. It sounds similar in principle to Google's Synth ID, which allows AI-generated content to be traced back to its origin even after editing or compression has taken place. But it's not clear exactly how Suno's solution will work. Schulman did add that he and his company believe that it should ultimately be at the discretion of artists and platforms to decide whether they communicate when something was made with AI. It comes to mind that you could theoretically, like, put the song on a CD, play it, record the actual audio if you have the right, recording equipment, play the recording, and then possibly, I guess if the metadata was the thing that was watermarked, you could also, again, use the actual WAV itself, played in at an optimal setting. You could actually get rid of the watermark that way by just making a new recording. But I digress. Let's see. As well as the new watermarking... Okay. They believe that it should ultimately be at the discretion of artists or platforms to decide whether they communicate when something... See, this is correct, though. I agree with this. Schulman did add that he and his company believe that it should be ultimately at the discretion of the artists and platforms to decide whether they communicate when something was made with AI. I mean, I'm totally open about my songs being made with AI, right? But if someone else didn't want it, if someone else didn't, let's say someone else at times uses AI, at times uses his own music, and is like, no, I'm not going to tell you whether it's made out of AI or not. You either buy the thing or you get the fuck out. I think he's totally in the right to do that. Let's see, as well as the new watermarking system, Suno will also set download limits designed to tackle the mass distribution of AI songs on streaming platforms. Again, details on this is light in the company statement, but it comes in the wake of a coalition of major music labels, including the big three, Sony Music, Universal Music Group, and Warner Music Group, all three of which I hope will collapse within my lifetime, calling for AI slop tracks that are flooding music charts across the world to be disqualified from entering them. I don't really care. I don't really give a shit about what you three think. You three produce garbage, and you should absolutely be destroyed. Let's see. Alleged copyright infringement. Where is the alleged? Where is the fucking, like, give me an example. Give me a concrete example of internet, like, of actual copyright infringement. Argues scraping every song on the internet is fair use. It is fair use. You're not making a copy of it. Suno admitted its training data model on copyrighted songs represents by all three major labels. Yeah, go fuck yourself, right? It turns out when you're actually studying music, guess what? You have to study the music other people have made. Hello, Gleeman. I've seen some people complain about AI Vocaloid songs, let that singing. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've seen that too. I've had people complain to me about AI Vocaloid songs. But yeah, objectively speaking, Liquid Zulu has an entire thing on specifically AI art and how it scraped the internet for visual training data, and there's no difference. There is no substantive difference between what Stable Diffusion and other AI art programs did and what AI music programs do. Right? Again, I challenge anyone to crack any of these programs open and actually find a single piece of actual identifiable training material. You can't, because if it was actually built like this, these things would be orders of magnitude larger in terms of like the actual program size than they actually are. So I guess we can let's see. Oh, this is short. I could just read this after this. So let's see. It was the basis of a number of lawsuits against AI music generation companies, including Suno and Udio, over the last few years, who were accused of training models on music they didn't have permission to use on a massive scale. Notice how that's not a fucking legal term, right? In November last year, Warner Music reached an agreement with Suno that allows the company to license WMG's artists' music and their likeness, ending what had been an ongoing legal dispute. Oh, so it's not that you... Again, this is all about money. This is all about money and competition. Suno insists that it does not use artist names in its training metadata and won't allow users to use specific artists or copyrighted songs when entering a prompt. I got fucking warned not to use the word Swift when I was trying to describe a actual motion of the song, not the fucking artist, right? And because the word Swift is associated with Taylor Swift, and I had nothing to do with Taylor Swift in this, it's like, oh yeah, you can't use that word. I didn't even use that. I didn't end up using that fucking, like, Jen song anyway, because it didn't meet my standards. But it's like, this thing is so sensitive that, again, if it even crosses over sometimes with potentially referring to a artist, it will just block it, even if it doesn't have anything to actually do with the fucking artist, right? It was about string instrumentation, by the way, is the case that I was actually talking about. In that particular gen. I was still trying to figure out how all this works. Let's see. Where was I? Oh yeah. It's metadata and won't allow its users to use specific artists' copyrighted songs when entering a prompt. But just this week, a German court sided with the licensing agency Gemma on accusations of copyright violation against the platform. As reported by Reuters, the Munich-based court ruled that Suno trained its systems on protected music, that it didn't give the rights to use, a decision Suno disagree with yet and may appeal. I hope they do appeal, and I hope they win, but considering this is a German court, and German law is fucking cartoonish, I don't exactly imagine that this is going to be a thing that's going to be all that effective, right? But, you know, Germany could do all of its stupid shit it wants to before it becomes, you know, the Islamic Republic of Deutschistan. So, anyway. What does an audio watermark even mean? Like ceiling bird at the end of the song? Lol. What they're probably going to do is they're probably going to put things, like, they're probably going to put signatures in the actual audio track that the human ear will be very hard to hear, but will be picked up by the AI, by like the AI, you know, processing systems themselves, and that will be the watermark. But as I said earlier in this video, the stream and video, that's going to get cracked. Someone's going to figure out how it works. Someone's going to make a program that's going to be able to strip that watermark from the from the WAV files, and then the cracker will be the hero of the story, right? Even if people think he's a villain. Let's see. Taylor Swift's lawyer called their after your ass for the use of the word Swift. Well, they can eat my entire ass. Actually, don't do that. I don't want her anywhere near me. I can't stand that bitch. German law is fake and gay, yes. And luckily, it seems like, you know, they're going to have their own boogaloo soon. So, hopefully, no one has to give a shit about them for a while. Probably some subsonic coding inaudible, but detectable by AI. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Let's see, where was I? They could also probably, again, it would probably have been easier for them to just fucking watermark the metadata. I don't understand why that was not the thing that they came with instead of the fucking audio track thing, but I digress. Where was, oh yeah. In its blog published today, Suno said it's working with content recognition and data companies, Audible Magic and Music's Match, as well as other third-party companies to screen upload audio files and lyrics for potential misuse. And then we have the actual conversations here, right? Hold on, this is actually an interesting comment. SynthID has been successfully removed from tracks generated by Google Flow Music, so any attempts by Suno to add any kind of watermarking will fail because the quantity of individuals working on watermark stripping. I have done all that and more. We already have heroes stepping up to the plate, right? Crack all de novo bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Was that the end of the? Okay, that was the end of it. So let's see if they can actually live up to their claim and actually give. This fucking article linked the same. This is the quality of people that we are dealing with. Okay. So let's get back to the alleged copyright violations, right?
When most tech companies are challenged with a lawsuit, the expected defense is to deny wrongdoing, to give reasonable explanations of why the business's actions were not breaking any laws. Music AI startups Udio and Suno have gone for a different approach. Admit to doing exactly what you were sued for. Yeah, because scraping the internet is not a copyright violation. You're not copying the work. Oh my god, this is... Udio and Suno were sued in June with music labels Universal Music Group, Warner Music Group, Sony Music Group, claiming they trained their AI models by scraping copyrighted material from the internet. In a court filing today, Suno acknowledged that its neural networks do in fact scrape copyrighted material, based, by the way. It is no secret that the tens of millions of recordings that Suno's model was trained on presumably included recordings whose copyrights are owned by plaintiffs in this case. And I hope every single plaintiff loses their case. But, you know, considering how corrupt the fucking music copyright industry is, we'll see how that works. And that's because its training data includes essentially all music files of reasonable quality that are accessible to the open internet. What the fuck did you think of scraping? Scrape harder is my opinion. Oh my god, I hate these people. Which likely includes millions of illegal copies of songs. So, because it learned from an illegal copy. Okay, so this is it. So this is the actual argument that they're making. So presumably, because there were illegal copies of songs, right, such as "Liberalism is a Mental Disorder" by The Infidel, right? I cannot find that song to save my life for some reason. It was a fun song from back in the day, but seems to have largely disappeared. One day I'll find it. It's probably going to be uploaded to YouTube, like right after I say I can't find it, funny enough. That's just kind of luck I have, right? But anyway, so because some of the training data included illegal copies of a song, this is a fucking ridiculous... This is the same kind of bullshit that it's like, oh yeah, Anthropic, the Anthropic can copy these books so long as they destroy the physical copy, right? Like, and it wasn't even copying it. Like, again, like adding it to the, fucking adding it to the training data. It's like, you can add it to the training data, but you have to destroy the physical copy of the book, right? See that priceless artifact, that ancient copy of Dante's Inferno? Cut its spine out and shred it, right? That is what the law demands. Fuck it, copyright has been a mistake. Like, I was joking about your use of the suffix to the word crack. YouTube moderated me. F you, YouTube. Right? Oh my god, I hate YouTube sometimes. I understand your pain, man. So it's not that the training data itself is alleged to have copies in it, but that it accessed illegal copies of songs in order to do this. Which... I don't understand. Again, it's like, this is a scraping, the whole thing, this is a scraping tool used to gain this information in the first place. There's no copies in the program. I don't understand what the fucking problem here is, right? Anyway, let's see. Like, I hate to tell you this, but people access illegal copies of music all the time. Look up anytime anyone has ever listened to an AMV, right? That is an illegal copy of a song. So anyway... but the company is taking the line that its scraping falls under the umbrella of fair use. It does. It is fair use under copyright law to make a copy of a protected work as a part of a back-end technological process invisible to the public in the service of creating an ultimately non-infringing new product. I would agree, right? Because you have to do that you actually have to do that to produce art in the first place, right? If I actually learn how to make rock and roll by, like, again, practicing with the guitar, practicing with the drums, practicing with the instruments, and then I know what I like because I've heard, like Disturbed, I've heard fucking Slipknot. Well, this is more metal, but I'm more of a metalhead anyway. Disturbed, Slipknot, Duran Gray, right? And I enjoy these bands, right? And like, fucking Cradle of Filth, and like, yeah, I like these things, and because of this, I have a neural network trained on what makes good, or at least to me, pleasing metal, right? And that only exists because I have these songs in the back of my brain, right? It's not, you couldn't crack open my skull and be like, ah, yes, this is the neural connection right here that is defining specifically nymphetamine, right? And this one right here encodes 10,000 days. No, it does not fucking work that way, right? And it's the same thing. It does not work that way with these fucking programs. Oh my god. Anyway, hello, Kura. I am absolutely bitching about. Hello, Cosmic. What the hell is this? I'm bitching about the Suno trying to watermark their their songs now. Let's see. The statement reads, its argument seems to be that since the AI-generated tracks it creates don't include samples illegally obtaining all of those tracks to train the model isn't a problem. So it literally is this. This is the actual issue. Because you scrape... Okay, this is almost certainly going to bleed out to... I'm actually kind of interested, because if this is the case, why didn't this get taken up to stable diffusion, right? Well, right? Because, like, again, it almost certainly scraped illegal copies of artwork as well, so it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? Yokuro knows it's hanging, right? So... at least we have the at least we have the idea of why this lawsuit exists, right? This one actually explained what the copyright infringing argument actually was. Oh my god, I hate these people. Where was I? Okay. Calling the defendant's actions evading and misleading, the RIAA, which initiated the lawsuit, has had an unsurprisingly harsh response to the filing. Their industry-scale infringement does not qualify as fair use. There's nothing fair about stealing an artist's life's work, extracting its core value. Hey, by the way, it turns out I have to actually ask permission if I'm going to look at someone's art in order to, like, break it down and understand it. If I want to study the art of, like, Bikupan or fucking, Osamu Tezuka, right? It's like, oh, I have to get their permission first, right? It's not fair that I can pour over their life's work. You know, examine every piece of art that they've ever done. Break it down to geometry. See what formal techniques they use. Look at the structure of their composition, right? See the techniques that they use. And then recreate, and then make my own version of that. Right? It's totally unfair that I can, again, look at the life, so, you know, access the life work of someone else, extract its core value, and then repackage it to compete directly with the original. Can we see how this is fucking retarded? Right? Still stupid, but anything to cling to its crumbling crowns. I hope these people know nothing but fucking destitution. I have databanks of ill-acquired music and an air-gapped PC, so fuck them. I think everyone basically in the United States does, to be perfectly honest. Let's see. And in fact, actually, there's tons of data that piracy actually helps to promote, you know, good products. Not bad products, good products. So... funny fucking enough, right? You want to know the biggest buyers of anime? It's not the hoodweebs, it's the fucking anime pirates. Like, they pirate anime, they find stuff that they like, and then guess what? They buy the shit that they like. And considering they're anime pirates, they watch a lot of anime, so they end up buying a lot of anime, because they wouldn't be anime pirates if they didn't fucking like anime. Anyway, let's see. Defendants had a ready, lawful path to bring their products and tools to the market, obtain consent, I don't need your consent to study your work, before using their work, as many of their competitors already have. That's unfair competition, that unfair competition is directly at issue in these cases. Again, it's like, well... again, I can't study anyone's art. I have to ask permission first. I have to ask permission first before I actually start trying to figure out how they do the things that they do. Otherwise, it's unfair competition. I hate these people. I genuinely hope these people fucking crash and burn and collapse. Whatever the next phase of this litigation entails, prepare your popcorn. It should be wild. Start local ginning your music. Right? Okay, Suno becomes the first customer of Mixmatch's is Sentinel, which screens AI prompts and outputs for copyrighted material. You know how you get around this? Hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to heavily prompt from an actual, like, copyrighted piece of work, Grok and ChatGPT and Claude and what was the other one? Gemini, right? Every single one of them, you can burn your CD, right? You can make your own private copy on your own computer of any CD you buy. You can burn your CD, get those files. You can then put that file in a conversation with one of these AI, ask it, I want you to do deep research into the form, structure, and technique an emotional arc of these songs. You can get it to give you that output. You can then copy and paste in a separate, secluded conversation. I want this condensed into a style prompt for Suno, right? All this is done is it's like, again, I have no respect for this personally, right? And I kind of want people to actually like get away with this shit at this point. Oh my god. That's the problem. They want you to eat the slop, and I refuse to. Right? Let's see. Music Match has signed Suno as the first customer of Sentinel, its copyright detection service for AI and user-generated content platforms. Suno has integrated the technology to identify when copyrighted compositions, lyrics, and music may be present. Music Match said on Thursday, August 6th. Sentinel monitors prompts and AI-generated outputs detecting copyrighted lyrics at any stage of generation, according to the website's the product's website. I have never gotten lyrics, even prompting, hypothetically speaking, like, hold on, I want to see how close you, ChatGPT, can get to the lyrics of this song, right? It refuses to do so. I mean, could you jailbreak it? Probably. But, that being said, it doesn't like to do that on its own, right? So it's like, normally speaking, even if you prompt it to be like a song, it's not going to generate something sufficiently close to the song by the way it's actually designed, right? So, okay, here we go. For Suno, Mismatch just says that Sentinel will provide greater visibility into copyright material within user prompts, informing the AI company's own moderation, compliance, and production decisions. A press release confirming the Suno partnership said that Sentinel can rapidly identify durable matches with millisecond level latency. Sentinel also maps user-generated content to rights holders' works through lyric matches, which enables detection of cover versions and royalty attribution. Let's see. I don't know how to say this name, right? It's some fucking European name that doesn't matter. Co-president of Music Smash said, Suno is enabling extraordinary new levels of creativity and expression, but the broader landscape calls for robust infrastructure to help platforms understand what is being created and whether copyrighted material is being submitted. So you admit that it's good, but like we need to hinder the creativity itself, right? Let's see. They can stop making anything good. They can stop making anything good in the music or entertainment industries, and there's a mountain load of older stuff I can enjoy, so I don't have to deal with the bad slop. Exactly. Let's see. Sentinel was purpose-built to provide that visibility at the highest level of quality and hyperscaler production readiness. We're delighted that Suno is the first platform to adopt Sentinel as part of their broader approach to responsible AI innovation, added again, some fucking name that doesn't matter. What are the odds that Sentinel is involved in stakeholder capitalism? Could it be fed a sufficiently altered series of lyrics? I mean, presumably speaking, a lot of lyrics that we've seen in the music industry are altered lyrics. So apparently they don't have an issue with the altered lyrics part, right? But that is interesting, right? Again, I was like, I wonder what the odds for false positives are for this, and I wonder what the actual, what the actual safeguards for false positives are for this Sentinel thing, which I'm going to guess are basically none. So, Phil Castro, General Counsel of Suno, said, as AI technology continues to evolve, building products responsibly is critical. One of our guiding principles is to ensure our tools enable original music creation, not imitation. Imitation is important. It's not just creation and formation. Imitation is also legitimate, right? Music Match has been a key partner in helping us identify and prevent misuse, Castro added. Let's see. Adding Sentinel will only strengthen our capabilities for protecting artists and human creativity as... it's not... Okay. The only people who will actually be hurt in terms of human creativity are those weak in spirit. Those in it for the love of the game will survive the AI becoming masterful at the craft, right? If you just love drawing, if that's the thing that you're passionate about, right? If you have a compulsion to draw, the AI learning how to create drawings is not going to kill that drive in you. You're just going to continue to draw, even if you can't necessarily make money off of it yourself, right? But yeah, so and by the way, if you are sufficiently good at drawing, you will still be able to find work, because it's going to turn out that, again, there are going to be people who are always going to prefer human-made products, not AI-made products, right? And there's always going to be people who are going to prefer the AI or the cooperative products, right? So yeah, it turns out you're still going to have a potential, job if you're good enough, right? You can't coast on mediocrity because when you have competition. Let's see. Okay. Music Match launched Sentinel on March 27th and said at the time it planned to extend the service. Music Match says Sentinel returns decisions in under 100 milliseconds, integrates via API, and is built for EU AI Act and DMCA compliance. I don't know how much I believe it understands these in its actual minutia, right? I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to be hypersensitive. Right, it's going to be hypersensitive, and it's going to almost always rule in favor when there's a dispute about whether or not the copyright claim is valid or not. It's going to always side with the large corporation. Call me cynical, but I have a sneaking suspicion there's going to be people who actually have original music. It's going to get claimed by this, and then good luck taking these people to court, right? They don't actually have to prove that you violated your copyright. They can just win based off money. And sometimes, even if your song is totally fucking different, just saying you were inspired by the thing will lose you the fucking copyright claim. So it's like, or a copyright dispute. So yeah, I find it ironic that the person involved with this as the last name Castro, right? I mean, copyright is just a communist spook. As much as people want to pretend like copyright is a capitalist invention, no, it is a communist spook. Actually, the most inspired saw the potential of AI immediately, or almost in my case. Exactly, right? It turns out there's a lot of people who were actually originally skeptical about this, but I've seen people who are traditionally trained artists who then saw how AI art was getting better and was like, hold on, I'm actually kind of interested in where we can take this, right? So, yeah, that's who would have fucking guessed, right? The European Union's rules requiring AI-generated content to be labeled took effect on August 2nd. Well, I don't live in Europe, so Europe doesn't get to tell me what the fuck to do. Let's see. Music Match says Sentinel draws the world's largest proprietary music database, trusted by more than 250,000 rights holders and music publishers across 250 languages. So this is a huge database of proprietary... Okay. I'm not going to say it, but there are, I'm not going to say it. Let's see. The Sentinel site names Universal Music Group, Sony Publishing, Warner Music Group among the publishers and rights bodies in that network. Also listed are BMG, Cobalt, Peer Music, Sarigama, Disney Music Group. This is a fucking cancer. Atlas Music Publishing, Pulse Music Group, Relay? 1RPM, Reservoir, and NMPA. Let's see, Music Smash, which took a strategic investment from TPG Growth in 2022, signed AI licensing deals with the publishing arms of all three major music companies in October 2025. It seems like the entire industry is working together to snuff out competition. What do we call it when everyone in the industry bands together to oppose a competitor? I don't know if we can call this a music cartel, but is this a corporate cartel? Genuine question. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to look it up. But let's see. The Sentinel deal lands on the same day that Suno published a blog post setting out its principles, in which CEO and co-founder Mikey Schulman wrote that the company has never allowed prompts for specific artists or copyrighted songs. When a prompt names an artist, Schulman wrote, Suno strips the name out and redirects the request towards descriptive musical characteristics. And this is okay, in my opinion. This is fine. Captain Terror of the Second Dimension. You may think Disney music is cancer, but Sony is actually evil and a massive monopoly post numerous mergers and fucking buyouts. No, I agree. But I've also like read Sony Music Group like 10 times already in this article, in this series of articles. Let's see. In addition, Schulman wrote, we also work with Audible Magic, ACR Cloud, and Music's Match to screen uploaded audio files and lyrics for potential unauthorized use of an artist's work. So, last Friday, July 31st, the Munich Regional Court ruled that Suno had infringed the copyrights of German Collecting Society, GEMA, by training on its repertoire without a license. In the first ruling of its kind in Europe, Suno should send them a hamster. All right? So I don't think Suno is based in Germany. Hold on, let me check. But, yeah. I think American companies should, at this point, just be like, nah. You know what? We're going to do what 4chan does anytime a foreign company tries to actually, bully us into doing something. We're just going to send you some fucking meme, and then you can maul and seethe about it while you charge us money that we're never going to have to pay for you, right? Let's see. That's not what I meant to press. Let's see. Cambridge. Okay. So it's in Massachusetts. So yeah. They should tell Germany to go fuck themselves. But I guess, I guess the Pakistanis will get to that first. Monopoly, yes. But yeah, the music industry has had a massive cartel for decades, if not the turn of the 20th century. The suits just changed from mafioso to corporate. I mean, there's still some really odd deaths that happen in the music industry, right? Something life insurance, something, dead artist tracks sell better. Suno told WBW, I can't read right now, MBW, it disagreed with the ruling, which it said rests on fundamental mischaracterization of how its technology works. Yeah, it does. And that it was weighing an appeal. It should appeal. The company remains in copyright litigation with Universal Music Group and Sony Music Entertainment in a case coordinated by the RIAA, in which it argues that training on copyrighted work is fair use. It should be fair use. Literally, anytime that literally me listening to music, any student of music, right? Anyone who's actually wanting to be a musician has to listen to music to get a sense of, again, form, structure, emotional arc, again, prosody, poetry, like all of these things, right? You have to actually then make a copy of that song in your brain that you can then examine over time, right? That is effectively how this thing works. And just like in a human brain, where if you crack a human brain open, you can't just find, it's like, oh yeah, this is the ganglia, right? This is the ganglia where fucking the Rondo Duo soundtrack, the OST, is located, right? You're not going to be able to find that in the fucking Suno actual program either. Let's see. Like with Michael Jackson, oh yeah, I think that might have had something to do with it, right? Let's see. What happened to Michael Jackson was absolutely monstrous. That man was fucking absolutely framed, and it was absolutely despicable. Warner Music Group settled its claim in November 2025 and entered a licensing partnership that included Suno's acquisition of Songkick. So, again, they're just trying to fold Suno into the music cartel, right? No comments on this. Interesting, right? Kind of just flew under the radar. Let's see what's on here. So here's what we need to know about the Suno update. Okay, I don't know why he sent me this. Let me see if I can get a higher resolution for this. Okay. Copy image link. There we go. That's much better. Okay. So, Suno update. What do you need to know? Key changes confirmed August 10th, 2026, effective September 3rd, 2026. So if you have any songs that you like that you might want to at some point upload to YouTube, download them in WAV file format before September 3rd, because that's when this stupid watermarking program is going to start, right? So, download limits, beginner September 3rd. For free, it will be 7 lifetime trial downloads. So you will only ever be able to download 7 for a free account. For a pro account, you'll only get to download 20 a month. For a Premiere, 60 downloads per month. And then for Premiere with Studio downloads unlimited. Yeah, I don't think this is about stopping fraud. I think this is about just forcing you to pay more money if you want to actually make, not that I download 60 per month, right? I don't download 20 per month, so this isn't going to fucking really bother me. But still, it's like, I don't really think this is about the stated goal. I think that there might be a secondary purpose here that actually would clarify this more effectively. So additional downloads will be available for purchase. Pricing not yet announced. So if you only have 7 downloads, well, you can buy for the download, right? If you got 20 downloads, you can buy for extra downloads, right? Like how I hear a song over and over and get a clearer picture of the song and story. Exactly. 1 song equals 1 download. Good news, the same song can be downloaded again without using another allowance. Re-downloading the same song does not use another download. Okay, I can at least respect this one, right? Downloading its stems also does not create separate download charges. Okay, I actually like this one. 20 downloads, pro equals 20 different songs, not 20 files or formats. Failed or interrupted downloads do not count. Well, that was already the case in this one. Like Suno already doesn't charge you for gens that just fail to happen. Let's see. Your old songs are safe. Everything you've already created will remain in your library. Old songs stay. Old songs remain playable and shareable. You can still use them for covers, remixes, and extensions. Old models are being retired. Old songs are not being erased. Let's see. Old models are retiring. This is the part that's this is one of the parts that pissed everyone off, because you know how you could use the older models just in case Suno fucks something up? Well, because now everything has to be watermarked, they're getting rid of the non-watermarked versions. So when the new music industry partnered models launch, all prior models will be retired. Your songs remain. Future edits, extensions, covers, and remixes will be performed by the new models. So if you have an old song and then you want to get it remixed or you want to do something with it, it's going to get watermarked. Results may not sound exactly like the original. Let's see. Commercial use tied to authorized downloads. Commercial use is now tied much more directly to obtaining an authorized Suno download under proper title. Rights attached to qualifying paid download are permanent, even if you cancel, downgrade, or Suno changes its limits. I think this is already the case, to be perfectly honest. Let's see, unresolved questions. If a song was created on the free plan, then download after upgrading to a paid plan, does that paid download create commercial rights? Suno's publishing guidance is not completely clear. Do not assume it does until Suno clarifies. Watermarks and fingerprints are now part of the contract. Suno may place fingerprints, watermarks, or metadata showing that the song came from Suno, the applicable service tier, whether the file was an author. So, oh my god. So it'll even tell you whether or not you were a free, pro, Premiere, or like Premiere with Studio. So, whether the file was an authorized download, do not deliberately remove, obscure, or alter these identifiers to hide the origin, misrepresent status. Fuck you, we're going to strip your watermark, and then we're going to tell you it came from Suno, but we're still going to strip the watermark. Normal editing, mixing, mastering, processing, and format conversion are allowed. I don't really give a shit. You can cancel my account if you find it fucking objectionable. I'll just start home genning if that's the case. Let's see. Stream ripping is not a workaround. Recording a stream ripping, or using unofficial downloaders to get around the limits is prohibited. Running out of downloads does not make unofficial copying acceptable. Let's see. Free user, the biggest change. Free accounts get 7 lifetime trial downloads. They do not reset each month. Free trial downloads are for temporary, for personal use only. Commercial rights apply to qualifying downloads made while using a paid plan. Premiere, Suno, Studio, Advantage. Let's see. Premiere users working in Suno Studio will not face the same numerical Studio download restriction. Again, if this was the case, if they wanted to prevent fraud, they wouldn't allow infinite downloads for any of these tiers. So they're talking out of their ass here. A major advantage for serious producers, STEM exports, and multi-track projects. Let's see. Looks like I'm going to start making music with Grok now, eh? Let's see. Download limits. Previously unknown. Now confirmed 7 lifetime, 20 per month Pro, 60 per month Premiere. Effective date. Previously unknown. September 3rd, 2026. Old library, previously uncertain. Existing songs remain in user library. Old models previously described as depreciated. Suno now says all prior models will be retired. Future editing, previously uncertain. Old songs can still be used for covers, remixes, and extensions performed by new models, but they will be watermarked. Watermarking, previously unannounced generally. New terms specifically authorized fingerprints, watermarks, and download status metadata. Commercial use, previously centered on paid plan creation. New terms place much greater importance on an authorized Suno download. Extra downloads, previously expected. New confirmed pricing unknown. Free accounts, restrictions were expected. 7 lifetime personal use trial downloads are now confirmed. So if you're not going to pay for Suno, you better damn well be aware of what it is that you're actually, downloading, because you only get 7 before you got to start paying. Let's see. Well, fuck Suno. I wasn't using it much anyway, right? Again, there are alternatives that are, will work just as well as Suno. That you don't have to use Suno. So it's like if this is something you're not gonna really want to put up with, you don't have to use Suno. Udio is another one again that was brought up that is like a competitor to Suno, but you're gonna want to check to see what their copyright rules, terms and conditions are. But again, this sucks, lol. Exactly, right? But again, as I said, the cracker is the hero. The watermark people will figure out how to crack that watermark, and the cracker who does so will be absolutely a hero in my book, and all cracked watermarks shall be a sign of nature healing, right? What has not changed? Suno is not shutting down. Well, I'm glad about that, but fuck you regardless. Existing libraries will not be erased. Again, I'm glad for that, but still fuck you for some of these changes. Paid commercial rights have not simply been canceled. I mean, they better not have. The German Gemma ruling remains important, but is not final. Okay, that part's based. The major U.S. copyright litigation remains unresolved. No shit. No Spotify, Apple Music, or blanket distributor ban has been announced. Okay. That's fair, but I don't really give a shit about Apple Music, to be perfectly honest. Let's see. What you should do before September 3rd. Protect what matters. Save it outside Suno. Prioritize finished songs, releases, exceptional vocals, personal family songs, historical projects, and songs you intend to continue editing. Save best quality master, stems, lyrics, prompted style, model versions, creation, date, editing notes, evidence of your own writing/recording. The WAV is the finished meal. The recipe is the prompt, model, lyrics, notes. Bottom line, Suno is moving towards a more licensed, identified, and controlled system. Your existing songs are safe, the old models are not. Downloads will be limited, commercial use is tied to an authorized downloads. Be smart, stay informed, keep good records, and write and back up what matters. So let's see. The 3 questions I am watching. What will additional downloads cost? And this is actually a good question I didn't even think of. When exactly will the new models replace the old ones? How will Suno resolve the conflict over commercial rights for songs originally created on the free plan? I will update this report when answers become available. Let's see, written and approved by Ron Skates, AI-assisted researcher and AI-assisted research and editing were used as support tools to locate original sources. Compare Suno, so he basically used it as a search engine. Compare Suno's earlier and updated policies, organize the evidence, and verify details. The judgment, analysis, conclusions. Final responsibilities are mine. Readers are encouraged to review the cited originals and reach their own conclusions. Factual status based on the best verified information available as of August 10th, 2026. Suno's policies, model activity, availability, commercial use rules, and related litigation may change. Material developments will be added as dated updates rather than silently changing the historical record. Primary sources are Suno blog, an update to our download policy and terms of service from August 10th to 2026. So straight from the source, right? Suno terms of service revised August 10th, 2026, effective September 3rd, 2026, and Suno Help Center. Upcoming changes, frequently asked questions, download instructions, WAV wave availability, and commercial use guidance. So, yeah, that was the last thing I was sent on this particular thing. Fuck Suno, to be perfectly honest. You can feel free to use it until the terms change, which is the 3rd of September. But know that if you're going to continue using Suno, that these changes have been made. And if this is too much for you, and you want to use a different program instead, that is entirely, again, justifiable. So I'm not going to stop you. That would make sense to me. But I'm definitely going to check out to see what alternative, online gens, what online music programs there are, if they actually meet the qualities, standards that I personally want. And I'm also going to look into home genning music, because that's definitely something I should probably get more into, because, again, if any of these online programs change their policies like this, well, at least I can still home gen, right? Which, again, take this as a note. If you can, if you're doing AI visual art, AI music, or anything else, if you can, download a local version of the program. That way you can gen from home, even if the internet goes down and even if these platforms die, right? Do not let these companies control your ability to actually produce art and achieve your ends. Hello, oh big hugely, right? Hello, Buhuckly. So that was it for the Suno fiasco going on here. Copyright law is a spook is a spook that is advantaged communists and must be destroyed for a capitalist society. That's my last statement on there. So let me know what y'all think in the comments section, and I'll see y'all next time. YouTube is blocking my comments. Ah, damn it. Yeah, it's been doing that for a while. Okay, let's see, what do we have here? Out of the 50,000 tabs, right? Let's see. Ooh. Okay, so I am actually gonna react to the Kirsha about the DEI medicine, but I'm gonna do that at a later time, because I have something to say, and I actually found some of the documents that I was talking about medical equity. So we're gonna read that on that stream when we get there, right? But it's gonna take, that one's gonna be a little bit long. It shouldn't be a 3-hour stream, but there's gonna be a lot to say, right? Let's see. Yeah, we can do one more. Where the fuck is it? Where the hell did I put it? Fauci, no. I thought I saw one for Fauci for one. Okay, I'm pretty sure I already commented on this. I did already comment on this, so I can close this one out. Gumroad a cosmetic etchies for sale win. Oh, God. Right? Oh, God. Let's see. Research left to. I could have sworn I had a Flark of Cows interview in here. Hold on. Did I have it on another window? I might have had it on a different window. Anyway, okay. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh, yeah. So this is probably going to be the shortest video I've ever recorded, just because it's going to be a fucking short, right? But, yeah, just this fucking thing. So.
This
Oh, God.
is what's been going on for a
It's crashing on me.
while. When you're looking through arrest records and mugshots and you see suspects who clearly aren't white being listed as white anyway.
Fucking Zohaib Mohammed, fucking Ahmed Abdullah Al Nasir. You have Saad Aman Shergill. You got Michael Nathaniel Littlebrave. I'm sorry, but doesn't look too white to me. Herbert A. Yazi. Again, doesn't look too white to me. Michael Sean Brownnotter. By the way, what the fuck is the name Brownnotter? Holy fuck. Little Brave, what is this, right? What are these names? At this point, we're having the piss taken out of us, right? 5 hours. This won't be a 3-hour stream. 5-hour stream intensifies, right? You got fucking Edward McConnell. You know, the whitest man I've ever seen, right? Never have I seen a melanin count so low, right? I forgot fucking Joe Marvin Ellison. You got David Lamar Hayes. Interesting.
That's right. This is
And yeah, it really is that. You remember back with the grooming gang scandal when Britain tried to pretend like nothing was going on, right? And then the fucking Sikh awareness in society was like, you keep calling these people who are committing these grooming gang crimes Asian. But we are Asian and we have nothing to do with any of this stuff. In fact, we in the Sikh Awareness Society, we actually have been calling this out and calling out you for not doing anything about this, right? So why are you not pointing out that it's almost all Pakistani men that are doing this? Oh, because you don't want to implicate, because you want to push a message, because you want to push an agenda, right? You don't actually want to pursue reality to where it actually leads. You want to actually just push your race communist bullshit. And the way that you're going to do that is you're going to obliterate the distinctions in reality to create this hyper reality based on how you know these words are going to get interpreted. Because when you hear Asian, your first thought is not usually to, Pakistanis or Afghanis or Iranians or Turkmenistanis, right? Nah. When you hear Asian, most people in the Anglophone world, when they hear Asian, they think, for example, Chinese, Vietnamese, Laotian, fucking Japanese, Mongolian, right? They have a very specific area that they're thinking about. Maybe some people might think Indian very rarely, right? But they're going to think Indian before most of these people think Pakistani, right? So it's kind of interesting that you decide as the police chiefs and as the the news reporters that you would say Asian instead of Muslim, when again the vast majority of these names were Muslim men and Muslim names, and you know that the first association is not going to be these people, right? Interesting. It's almost as if it's a deceptive use of language, right? But yeah, it's the same thing here. It's like, and it's even more it's just as cartoonish here. So let's go through it again.
Going on for a while. When you're looking through arrest records and mugshots and you see suspects who clearly aren't white being listed as white anyway.
Again, it's like, yeah, I've never heard a name as white as fucking Mohammed Zohaib, right? I mean, to be fair, Muhammad was the whitest prophet, right? And he was so white, he was the first one to own African slaves. But, Muhammad was famed for the whiteness of his thigh and the whiteness of his arm and the whiteness of his face and the whiteness of his back, right? By the way, all of this is like actually recorded in the hadith, right? So like, if you ever wonder why in that image I genned decently recently, hold on. Let me go to my home for a moment. No, that wouldn't be home. It would be here. If you ever wonder why I made Muhammad ghostly white in that depiction recently, okay, this is just funny. Stone Toss fucking W here. Fucking, if communism good, then why did it kill 100 million communists? Comrade! I fucking love this comic. But, okay, it was down here. Not that one. Here it is. Yeah, so if you ever wonder why in this picture of Muhammad in his, you know, and his tops and his bottom and his child bride, right, and his, you know, his fake god, right, if you ever wonder why I made him look ghostly white in here, it's because the amount of descriptions of Muhammad in the Hadith where he is described as, you know, white is actually kind of interesting, right? His paleness was, you know, his paleness was definitely an intriguing factor to his friends, right? I had so much fun doing this. I finally found out how to get ChatGPT to make blasphemous images, you know, reliably. I'm gonna have fun with this. That's not the one I'm looking for. It's not the one I'm looking for either. Here we go. So yeah, it's like race, white, ethnicity, not Hispanic. Well, I can look at the guy and I can tell he's not Hispanic, but I can look at the guy and I can tell he's not white. Fucking Ahmed Abdullah Al Nasser. It's again, it's like white. It's like, okay, look at him, non-Hispanic. I'm like, I don't know, but last I checked, Al Nasser is not a name common among the denizens of Europe, right? It kind of seems a little Moorish to me, right? Let's see. Of course they know. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. What are you talking about? They are totally white, dude, right? If I did a AI MV, I'm tempted to use mangy dogs as the Asians with Little Red Riding Hood theme. Okay, that sounds actually pretty fun. And the yellowness of his belly. Yep. So he made a god of his own image, like Romans. Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. His own wife, his own child bride, actually. Hold on. Yeah, this one right here, Aisha, right? The girl he married when she was 6 years old, and then consummated the marriage when she was 9 years old, still playing with dolls. And by the way, in the culture at that time, and this is even recounted in the hadiths, meant that she had not even hit puberty yet, because she was still allowed to play with dolls. Yeah, even his child bride criticized him. Oh, how swiftly comes the word you need, right? And in fact, actually, fun enough, I have a song about that entire thing titled, hold on. I actually have a song about that too. Well, this is going to be a couple of tangents, right? You're going to turn a 30-second clip into like a 9-minute thing. Let's see, where is it? Down here, past some of these. Okay, no, it's after this. Or at least I believe it is. Time is a flat circle to me. Here we go. So yeah, and even in this one, I got it to fucking Aisha seems to diss him a lot. Yeah, seems they want to be white so bad too. He's like, yeah, I mean, you could also see what Muhammad said about black people, right? Muhammad said that you know the devil was looked like an Ethiopian with a raisin head. And by the way, at the time, Ethiopian basically just meant African. But yeah, in this picture for this song, you can see in the pool right here, you can see Muhammad and, you know, Aisha. And this took me a little bit of time to figure out how to even gen, because ChatGPT was not fucking having it, right? Cosmo turns 5 seconds of 2-hour tirade, episode 68. Hey, hey, my viewers seem to find it entertaining, at least, right? I love my audience. They at least put up with my fucking my random tangents, right? Let's see. Again, Saad Aman Shergil. Again, doesn't exactly look white to me, right? Again, little brave Michael Nathaniel. We're gonna go on a limb here and guess that this guy is fucking Native Americans. Same thing with Herbert A. Yazzie. Gonna again guess this guy is Native American. I could be wrong, right? I'm not racist enough to be able to tell all the different groups apart, right? One day, maybe I shall be racist enough to be able to tell the difference between an Iranian and an Afghani from just like looking at a centimeter of like their face. But that day is not today, right? I have to work for the competitive racism. So one day I can take home the goal of ethno guesser supreme, right? Let's see. We got Michael Sean Brownotter again. Doesn't look like a white guy to me. Fucking again, I can at least give you Edward McConnell. Edward McConnell is impeachably white. Look at this guy. That guy right there could absolutely lead a chapter of the Aryan nations. This man right here could be a fucking Ku Klux Klan Grand Master, and I'd see nothing would be off here. You could definitely see this guy possibly being a supporter of Hitler Youth, right? Right, I'm just saying, right? That clearly, I've never seen a face with less melanin than this before, right? He just has the sad fate of having reviligo, right? Let's see. Sure is entertaining. Thank you. So the liberals are Islamists. Well, they're not liberals, they're communists. We need to stop calling them liberals because they never have been liberals. But yes, I do know what you're saying. The communists or Islamists who claim right-wingers want to be white. They seem to really want to be. Well, their ideology is all about envy, right? I've talked about this with the communist thing before, but yes, all the communist-based ideologies are all around envy. It's about people wanting to dispossess people they see to be better off than them for one reason or another, and to justify their envy and hatred of people for being, for being unproductive and productive, right? It's the hatred of the unproductive against the productive. As far as Islam goes, Islam is just about conquest, right? If they can't beat you in a physical fight, they'll try to beat you by demoralizing you. And it just turns out that, again, the red and the green have a common enemy, right? Let's see. This battle on Namek will last 5 minutes. Oh, it truly is a Dragon Ball episode, right? Not even Dragon Ball Kai. It is a Dragon Ball Z series, conflict. Let's see. True and projecting. Yes. Oh, wait, I forgot to say again. Joe Marvin Ellison, again. Maybe I can see it. David Lamar Hayes. I don't know. My vision isn't too good, but maybe that guy could be white. I could be mistaken, but I'm not entirely sure.
That's right.
But yeah, no, it has always been an optics thing. It has always been an attempt to skew the perception of reality, right? And one of the ways they do this is by misrepresenting and manipulating statistics. So, and this is why I fucking hate these people, right? I hate these communists and these fucking Islamists who go out there and they're like, look, we're just gonna try to destroy these people. We're just gonna try to destroy you, and we're gonna do it by lying to your face repeatedly. And when you call us out, you will be the bad guy. It's all so tiresome, right? To quote Kirsha, it's just all so tiresome. Okay. So that'll be it for this episode. Let me know what y'all think, and I will see y'all in the next video. I actually unironically think that this has been my most productive stream. I don't think I've ever seen this thing hit 20 before, let alone go past it. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to see y'all next time or whenever y'all decide to show back again. So again, let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Okay. Alright, so again, as I promised, this isn't going to be a long stream, so I'm probably just going to find someone to raid. And I'm going to try to set up the YouTube raid again, so just give me one moment to do this. I'll put it on a song so it's not, boring. Funny enough, I could also just put it on the song I was just talking about earlier. So, just give me a bit.
Who heard the lantern tremble? who watched
YouTube
the
knows it's Southern literature to block me this way. Oof.
who saw the desert wind return with answers already approved.
Hello, Cabot. Thank you for the 3 consecutive stream watches. I'm ahead to Chelsor again tonight. Oh, nice. Is Chelsor still... Does she stream to YouTube?
In shaded rooms beneath the lamplit wall, a murmur rises soft beyond recall. A private longing drifts through woven air.
Oh, thank you. That was the aim.
Which settles gently there. The witnesses exchange a measured glance as circumstance and promise slowly dance. The ink appears where expectation leans.
It would have been so fun to raid her on like both YouTube and Twitch.
Through the scenes. The courtyard stones remember every tread, while whispered questions gather overhead. How swiftly comes the word you need? How softly bends the path to heed? The echo follows every breath. Who names the warning after death? How swiftly comes the word you need? The mirror answers what you plead. Beyond the gate, bright gardens fill the sky with endless dawns that never age or die.
See you tomorrow, Kevin.
Shimmer pale and still, like distant springs.
We will get there eventually.
The promise blooms in everlasting light.
Roger that.
Unfading
Good night, Philip.
Concealed beyond the night. Yet underneath the ornament and gold, the same familiar hunger takes its hold. The desert wind returns across the plain, repeating old desires in new refrain. How swiftly comes the word you need? How softly bends the path to heed? The echo follows every breath. Who names the warning after death? How swiftly comes the word you need? The mirror answers what you plead. I feel it sever, sever, sever. A voice within the fading frame. The warning spoken bears the same. Not mine, not mine. Another cries. The mirror turns, the mirror replies. What was above now falls below. What was concealed begins to show. The wish, the sign, the wish, the sign, the breath, the thread, the thread, the breath, 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 breath. How swiftly came the word once sought. How dearly was the answer bought. The echo follows every breath. The mirror joins the march of death. How swiftly came the word once sought. The crowd remembers what was taught. The lantern flickers, the curtain sways, the wind returns, the mirror stays. The thread remembers, the breath remains. Across the dunes, across the names.
All right, I'm still working on the raid. It's the YouTube side of the raid is just giving me an absolute pain in the ass. So I am working on it. Give me one moment. Okay. God, I hate YouTube. Son of a bitch, right? That is not how you do that, and I know that's not how you do it because oh my god. There we go. Live redirects is what I'm looking for. Just get to the fucking thing. Okay, let's see. As far as this goes, we can at least get Twitch sent somewhere. Oh my god, she's watching fucking ghost stories. Okay. Let us get Twitch somewhere while I try to figure this out. Let's see who the hell's on. Ooh, Meat is on. Let's see. Meat is a sweetheart. She doesn't really talk about anything controversial, so don't make me look bad. She's a bit of a shitter herself, but oh my god. AI Candy watching Chibi Doki. Is there anyone from the groups? Leafu Leafu's been on for like, I'll send us all to Chelsea the Destroyer for right now. So let's start raid. Okay, so let's try to get this damn YouTube thing to cooperate with me. Okay. Okay, save that. Let's try this. Maybe I have to do that. I don't know why I would have to do that, but maybe that's what I have to do. Okay. Let's go to edit. Huh. It's supposed to give me some capacity to pick a video to go to after my video is over. And it seems to have moved. Good night, Beer Train. Okay. Oh, this is actually pissing me off. Live redirect users allows creators to send their viewers to any of your live streams. Yeah, this is not the thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for exactly the opposite. Okay. God, I hate YouTube. Why is YouTube set up this way? Okay, let's... Alright, I'm just gonna raid on Twitch. I don't know why it's not letting me raid anyone on YouTube. So I guess that's just the end of the train here, eh? So y'all have a lovely day, and